All right, here's an '03 Honda Rancher 350 two-wheel drive manual shift. I guess that's the TM model. A buddy of mine brought this to me to mess with. So I've been real busy with other stuff, so I was kind of hesitant because I didn't know how deep I would have to get into it. Basically, he says that good battery, turn the keys on, no lights. On the dash, no lights on the front. He said he went to Honda, and Honda said it was probably a shift switch. I got it somewhere in here. So they sold him a switch. So when he brought it to me, he was saying that I would have to replace this part here. It is the what is it, the neutral switch. So I got it. I was looking at the book, and I was not too excited because I was hoping it would be a quick fix. And I'm not gonna be able to find it in the book real quick. Anyway, when I went into the book trying to find out exactly where the switch was, I was hoping it would be something that just screwed into the side of the motor. You know, just screw it out back here, and I'm zooming in. Something that would just screw in and unplug the wire from, then screw the new one in. And replace it. But no, looking in the book, that switch you got to remove the starter, pull the shaft back. The book said slide the motor forward, which that would have been a huge pain. And then this cover, I guess, would have to come off because that switch comes from the inside out. So I wasn't too keen on that. So then what I started doing is I started checking fuses. Battery was good, it was nice and charged. Started checking fuses. All the fuses were fine. Checked the solenoid because I believe he said he had replaced the solenoid. Solenoid had power on one side. Fuses somewhat had power. Accessories. Let's see. The ignition did not have power. The main had power. Looking here at this. The main had power. Ignition, I believe, didn't. Accessories didn't. Lights didn't. Fan did, I think. Maybe it was ignition did. But anyway, it was getting power there. So thinking back to his story as to what was happening before this happened, he said he was having issues with this ignition, and he ended up buying a cheap Chinese brand ignition, which is right there. So I couldn't find a fuse or anything. I'm looking for something small, so I decided to come up here and check the ignition plug to make sure everything was fine. And the ignition plug on this is that one right there. It's got the black thing hanging down because I've kind of pulled that out because I checked the wires. So as soon as I touched this, it just fell out. And in the past, these things have been a pain to mess with, to unplug. Patrick, can y'all go somewhere else? Of course, I gotta come right here to the back of the four-wheeler and start talking. So this plug, I messed with it. It didn't want to go all the way in there and clip. So once I plugged it back in, and actually, the reason that little black washer's pulled loose is I was trying to get power reading from here, and I actually found out that there was power going there. So I was like, that's kind of weird. If that neutral switch they sold him was really the problem, wouldn't the headlights still come on and stuff? So I was like, I don't think that's it. My brother kept telling me he didn't think that was the issue either. See, I've got it up in there and it's not clicking. So one problem I think he was having is that he rode it around some after putting that new ignition on there, but the thing never fully clicked into place. So I pushed it all the way up in there and came back up here and wiggled this some and saw the lights flick, which you just saw. Whoops, see, it's on. Now it's not. It's on. So it got to be pretty much, I'd have to turn all the way over and then pull back just a little bit. So all the way on. Wait. Now it's kind of, see, it's all the way on, and then a little bit of pressure back, it will come on. So I think he had 2 issues, which I'm so thankful, because now if you see the headlights are on. I'm so thankful that it was not that switch, because, you know, with the holidays and stuff, I don't have time to be working on people's stuff, especially big jobs. So this switch would have taken me a while, especially if I had to pull. I don't know exactly where it is down in there. I think it's underneath. I think it's underneath the starter and everything, screwed from inside that case out. So I would have had to remove all that stuff, popped all those bolts around that cover, and taken the cover off to get to it. So I was not looking forward to doing that. So this is a cheap, I think $10 switch from eBay. Carburetor is not hooked up because he had to replace. I'm getting ready to check that now. He had to replace gaskets and stuff because it was leaking, bowl gaskets. So, but it does attempt to start over. So when the ignition was the problem, it wouldn't try to start, turn over. None of the lights were on or anything. So, cheap $10 switch. So what I've done is I've gone and purchased a Honda brand ignition switch, which I'm about to put on. So Honda, the cheapest one I could find was this one. It came with actually 2 keys. This one is off of eBay. Genuine Honda ignition. It came in the genuine Honda bag. And it's, like I said, it's got the 2 keys that actually say Honda on them. So I plugged this in a minute earlier and it plugged right in, no issue. So I don't know exactly what was keeping the other one. I can pull that plug down and we can compare them to see what the differences are. What, Bella? Well, can you wait a minute? I'll be done. No, I'll be done in a minute. All right, so here's that plug. Now I noticed that right here there's like a half circle implant or opening, and looking at this one, it's more right there's more square, so it's not a half circle. I don't know if that's causing it. All the plugs seem to be the same. On the sides seem to be the same. Oh, where is it going? So I don't know. The only real difference I could see is the let's look at them this way. That's not very good. Alright, so the one on the right has the half circle. The one on the left has more of a square. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, cheap one doesn't really work. And if you notice also that this is the more expensive one, that backing is actually made. My camera. It was doing good on focus. This looks to be made into there. It might pull out. This definitely, that one definitely pulled right on out. I don't know. That one, it might. I think it would pull out if I was to mess with it with a pick or something. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you an issue that we were having, and like I said, it turned out to be a whole lot easier fix than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be very time consuming, but it ended up being the switch that he replaced. I'm guessing him just driving it around and the plug not going all the way in, it worked itself out, and then on top of that, just the switch was bad. Not very good. This one, when I tried it, you turn the key and it's on. You don't have to apply back pressure or anything like that. So hopefully maybe this was interesting, or maybe it will help you out if you got a cheap, if you're having issues with yours and you bought a cheap ignition, check the ignition, because that could be your problem. All right, have a good one.